Yes, friends, in our collection of boss guides, we're still missing the corrupted parade master. And of course, you'll find him here again in his usual environment. And actually, he's not that difficult. He generally almost always uses the same attacks, and most of the time you just need to watch out for his right arm. Of course, I'll show you all of his moves, so pay attention to his right arm. He usually does a kind of swinging attack with it. He's very vulnerable to fire, and you really don't need to bother with the small enemies. So be a bit careful, especially that he doesn't grab you, because then he really takes off quite a lot of health, as you just saw. And yes, the right arm is really the thing you need to watch out for. That big fat thing, yeah, just be a bit careful there. But you'll notice pretty quickly when he rears up and does his crawling attack, that's when we can deal a good amount of damage by moving behind him. You can see that quite well, especially here, and I've even shown it to you in slow motion a couple of times. That's when he lifts himself up, falls forward, and yeah, at that point you should try to run around him. Not like I did here, dashing around him, but simply running around him, and then you can deal quite a bit of damage to him. He also has his red arm, which makes it very easy to get behind him. That actually works pretty well, and you can also dodge effectively here. Alright, so let's take a look at the entire fight so you can see exactly how I play it. And that's what we're going to do now. So we go in, first apply fire to our weapon, and watch out a bit for his first attack. I didn't dodge that one, but it would have been easy to do. And now, this isn't my most flawless fight, but we always try to get behind him somehow. Because in that position, he's actually pretty slow, and sometimes he does his spin move, which is fine. When he does that thing on the ground here, he usually summons some puppets, and that's actually great. Then we can get behind him when he falls to the ground and really deal some damage. I wouldn't even pay attention to the puppets here, I would just take them out along the way. They're pretty slow anyway when you're attacking him. Yeah, and then, well, we just go in with our fire damage. It's relatively simple. Like I said, not my most confident fight either, but we can still deal a good amount of damage to him. Especially when he's crawling around on the ground, we can land 3 or 4 hits and really rack up some damage. Just watch out for his big arm, that's where you can best recognize his attacks and dodge them most effectively. Yeah, and honestly, he's really not that difficult, I have to say. I also didn't make a big boss guide for him because he just wasn't that hard for me, and I took him down pretty quickly. So, like I said, when he slams his arm on the ground, those tentacles usually come out. You can land another 2 or 3 hits, and especially when he brings out the puppets, you can get in a few more strikes. Otherwise, just keep a bit of distance to either heal yourself or repair your weapon, and you'll hardly get hit by anything during that time. When you're keeping your distance and see that he's going back down to the ground, just try to run around him if possible. Yeah, and then he's actually finished off pretty quickly. He really takes a lot of damage, so he's not that hardcore. So I found that there were definitely tougher boss fights, which you can of course also see on my channel, where everything is explained in much more detail if it's a really tough opponent. And yeah, personally, I just didn't find him that difficult. That's why I only fought him once and couldn't really make an epic boss guide out of it. Yeah, folks, but that's how it all works. That's how I took him down. If you enjoyed this, feel free to give it a thumbs up or subscribe. You'll find all the guides for Lies of P on the channel, of course. There are especially a ton of guides for collectibles and trophies, so feel free to check those out. And I'll see you next time. Take care, adios, and ciao ciao.